Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Shanette Carleo, and today I am doing a video where I'm going to be talking about my university experience and being a mature student. I'm here with my girl Nim.
Hey.
Nims is also a mature student. We both have children, and we met at uni actually, and we clicked because we both were like in a similar situation. We were both mature students, so we was like one of the oldest in our class. And we both have children. I have a son
and I have two girls,
and we both leave our jobs to come to uni. Both left our jobs to come to uni, so yeah, we hit off from there. So it's been 3 years since we met, and obviously I just graduated, so I wanted to sit down and make a video for anybody who is a mature student or thinking about going back to uni as a mature student, and just kind of share our experiences and give some tips or things that can maybe help you during your university experience. If you're new to my channel, before we get started, welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. I do straight talking videos, and I also do videos on lifestyle and relationships. If you like my content, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Also make sure you like this video and share it with anybody that you think that might find this video useful. First, we're going to talk about why we went back to uni. Do you want to tell people why?
I went back to uni. It's like more of a personal achievement for myself. I felt that I was in a job that I wasn't really progressing. I was getting bored, and it just became so like same. Every day was the same routine. You get up, go to work, do your job, come home, get paid at the end of the month. And I just felt like I needed something different. I wanted to like give myself more knowledge on something that I found what I was passionate about, and that was writing and fashion. And it was through a help from a friend that said, you know what, Naomi, come on, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. She was like, what about university? And I was like, uni, nah. It's not, that's not me. And she encouraged me to apply. So basically I did that, and I got through. When I finished school, I didn't have very good GCSEs. I went straight into college, and I did a creative subject. So I started, I did 1 year media, and then I dropped out. That was a media course, and I went and started doing a performing arts course, which was like dance and drama and stuff, which I really don't feel like I needed to do, but I did it because I enjoyed it. I did that, and then after that I went straight into work. Well, I was working even when I was at college, and I was doing jobs. So I worked in retail, and then after I finished that course, I started working for local government, and I was very passionate about writing and creative stuff. So the job I got, I dealt with letters, I dealt with correspondence initially, and then I worked my way up into like presenting cases on behalf of the council and stuff like that. But I didn't like my job. I worked in parking. I didn't like it. Didn't like the people, a lot of the people in there, not all, but I didn't like a lot of the people that I worked with. I didn't feel like I was exploring my creative side. So anyway, long story short is that I lost my best friend, and she died. She passed away, and after she died, like things just started to like be put into perspective for me, and I just thought, I don't like this job. So I left. And the reason why I left was just because of that incident. Kind of made me think, no, I'm leaving. But then like a few months later, I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I have no money. Like, what's happening? What am I actually doing with my life? But it was a good thing, because that's when I just started to explore, going to start to better myself again in the direction I wanted to. So I decided to like look into university, because it was something I always, having not got good grades, I'd always thought like, what if I got good grades, and what if I gone to uni? But I just never knew what I wanted to study at that time. So now, knowing myself a bit better, which is what I think is a good thing about being a mature student, is you learn so what you want to do, the area. You don't just pick anything because your parents want you to go in and be a doctor, so you do what they say. You pick something that you want to learn about. So basically, I went in to look at the journalism course at our university. It was London Met we went to. So once I went there, I met some of the teachers. I got a really good welcome, because I did go to City University, which is supposed to be one of the best universities for journalism, and I found that they were quite snobbish. They seem to be, I'm sorry to say this, but they seem to be a bit racist. I went there and tried to speak to like the lead, and he just looked at me without asking me any questions. He was like, this is a very academic course. I don't know if you'd be right for it. And I just didn't feel welcome. So I went to London Met, and I got a whole different vibe. Even though like the building needs some work and they're working on it now,
it's not as new and spankly as some of these universities. I felt like the teachers were more relatable, warming, and they have good teachers there. Like, they know their stuff. So I ended up signing up to that. So that's how I would know. So we'll talk about the application process. So I decided I wanted to go back to university. That's how, like, that was the decision. So then the application process, what did you have to do? Because basically I studied journalism initially, and then you studied...
I did fashion marketing and journalism.
Right. So what did you have to do?
So for my one, I had to write a short piece on something that was happening in my area.
Yes. I think I had to do something similar. So I had to write about a local hero or something.
Okay.
As I said, I didn't have the greatest GCSEs. I had good GCSE in English language, but not literature. And for journalism, you need to have a minimum C in English altogether. So I had to go and actually resit my English literature before I could do that. So I did that as a matured student. So I had to resit my GCSE in English literature, and then I got in based off all of the experience. That's another thing I think that really helped me. I didn't have GCSEs, but in the background while I was working, I was doing creative stuff. So like, I had my YouTube, I knew how to edit and film. I also had a show on Represent Radio, and I was like writing blogs and stuff like that. So whilst I didn't have like the best grades, as a mature student, they do more consider life experiences, jobs you've had. I've had experience in establishments that are within the media. I was shocked though when I got in, because I was thinking, no, they ain't gonna let me in. But I feel like as a mature student, what you should know is that they don't just look at, oh, do you have good grades, like they would for like school leavers or college leavers. They more look at the skills that you've obtained in your life. So don't think because you've got bad grades that you're never going to be accepted.
No, don't ever
still
think that.
apply your life skills, even if it's just like your parent. How do you manage your day? Like, if it can work into what you want to study, then, you know, mention it and let them know
show
about
that
it.
you have, and just to show that you have a good balance of work and home life, and that you can balance the two and just be yourself.
We're going to talk about tips as well, because for mature students, because that's one of the things as well. Like, we both have kids, so going back to uni was one thing as mature students, and then being mothers was another thing. So if you are a mature student or a mature student and have children, we're just going to talk about a few things that you should be aware of. So as you was talking about balancing like childcare and working life, what would be your tip in respect of that?
For me, when I did start uni again, I just had a baby. So she hadn't even turned 1 yet. No, she had just turned 1. So for me, it was crucial that I was able to find the balance. It was really difficult at first. It's not easy. It's really because I was doing assignments while she had chickenpox, laptop on my lap, baby in the other arm, and trying to get these assignments done. So I would say make sure that you apply for your childcare grant. Once that's done, then you know that you can pay the nursery in advance. So you make your application online, and then you have to set up a separate account for your childcare grant, and they will tell you how much you're going to get. So they separate that from your maintenance and your other bits that you would get, your other grant. They separate it now, and the nursery then will request a certain amount each week, so it's paid weekly. And then you will get a notification saying the nursery has requested, I don't know, let's say £150 for this week. Then whatever the remaining balance is on that, then you would have to pay, because they only pay up to 85%, I believe. But I'm sure Sinead will put in all the information at some point, maybe.
Put it in the description box below.
But I'm sure they pay up to 85%, and then you would pay the remainder of whatever they've worked out. And then just make sure that you have the support as well, family support as well.
That's very important.
It's really important that you have support. It may not be like close family. It might be friends that you may have that are able to help you with childcare, just to give you that maybe an hour or two for studying. And get a good home balance as well. Get a routine going on, like bedtime routine. Do you know what I mean? I know it's difficult, but it helped me out so much. I mean, I have an older daughter as well, and she really helped me out as well with that. And I have a partner. But for those that don't, that family support is so crucial. Go to the library. Sit there. study. Have that space where you're not in the home. Don't study in the home if you don't have to.
So that was going to be what I was going to say. I was going to say, try to utilize the library as much as possible. My son's a bit older, so he was going to primary school during my time at university. He was in school for most of the days, and our lessons would generally tend to get finished about 1. There will be some days we'd have longer days and they'll finish like 5. But I used to, like, when I finished at 1, I would, in like my first year and second year, just go straight home and then think, I can just, study when I got home. No, like, as soon as my son gets, first of all, you'll get home, you'll be doing stuff in the house as you would for a mother. You'll be preparing your dinner for your child, or you'll start cleaning up, or you'll get distracted by phone calls, or you'll go on the internet. Then your child will come home, and then you've got to like spend some time with them, sorting them out after school, getting them ready for bed. And then by the time you actually have time to sit down and do your work, it's like 8-9 o'clock and you're exhausted, and now you actually might not even do your work. And if you do your work, you're not really taking it in. My tip is find time to allocate to go to the library. However you want to work it. If you have support, maybe ask somebody if they can watch your child. If you can't leave them at home just for a couple of hours, so you can go to the library, go in lunch times, but use the library. Like, I don't feel like I use the library enough.
No.
And I'm not saying you have to use the library to go and read books, but just use it to do your work. Like, get it out of the way so that when you go home, you can just do home as much as possible. It's not going to always be like that. You're not going to always be able to go to the library, but where you can, use that as much as possible. There is support from others. Like you said, there's a childcare grant if you have a younger child. They also give you, I think, like an extra grant just for having a child.
Yes.
Every quarterly, if you get a loan, you get like a child grant just to like extra money because you're a parent. There's loads of just general grants. You can look for them online at your university. So that is my tip for balancing home and balancing childcare. Like, try to separate the two as much as possible. But of course it's going to be hard because there's going to be times where you can only study at home and your child's going to need you. And I think one of the other things is my son was like of age where I really communicated to him why I'm doing this, what I'm doing this for, that there's going to be times when mummy needs to just concentrate on work. So like, just let your children be aware of what you're doing, why you're doing it, how it's going to kind of better you guys' future, just so they understand. Because there is going to be times where it's hard to find time for your kids because you've got 5 assignments to do this weekend, kind of thing. But I feel like if you explain to your children that this weekend mummy's going to be really busy, but we'll do something next week, and do that with them. Like, you still can't get lost. You have to dedicate time to your children, but if you communicate with your children well enough, you'll be okay. And I know you're going to feel like, as mothers, we feel bad sometimes because we're like, we're not doing enough, or we're kind of neglecting our time with them, but it will be worth it in the end. And if you communicate with your children, they will understand it, and when they see you graduate, they'll be so proud of you. Like, it will inspire them. So just go to your uni services and ask what support there is for mothers into even like wellness and mental health and stuff. We'll get onto that later, but like there is loads of support that I don't think is advertised quite well in uni. So make sure you go and speak to like your university hub or your like student support services, and just ask, like, as a mother, what support is there for me? There's services out there, so make sure you look into that and make sure you look after you and your child while you're going through university.
Very important.
Budgeting and loans. So we mentioned some people might not be, you might have money. So you might have money, so you might have paid for your degree up front. You're not getting any loan or whatever the case may be. So when it comes to budgeting at uni, if you are basically living off a loan, even if you've got a part-time job, as a university student, right, you're gonna realize that you have to budget. So this was really hard for me because obviously, and I don't know how it was for you, but obviously, like, I was getting a whopping salary. So you have to understand that when I made the decision to leave my job, okay, like, for me to do that, you have to know how like unhappy I was, because what it meant was I was not going to be getting paid a salary anymore. I was going to go to university. I did get a loan, which meant that my only income would have been my loan, if that's all I did. I did get a job whilst I was in uni and I was working, but even still, it was tight. So if it's a loan alone that you're going to be living off, okay, you need to learn the word budgeting. Now, this is something I've never had to do in my life. I get my money, I'm spending it, I'm out here balling. No, when you get a university loan, you get so basically they give you a certain amount over the year. I don't even know how much it is. Like, it's not worth counting. It's not a lot of money. And especially if you're a parent, you have to understand, if you're young and you live at home with your mama, and you ain't got no bills to pay. Oh yeah, you're out here. You
can go and buy that.
You're out here bullying. You're going Miami.
You can buy them.
You're buying the cars. You can buy them bags, them Chanel bags. You can be out here starting for the gram. When you're a mum, that money, that's like lunch money. Okay, it comes, it goes. So as a mature student, especially if you have a child, you have to budget, because that money ain't nothing. You've got to still pay your rent. Okay, and you don't get help from the government when you are in university. So let's be clear, because I think some people think their rent's paid for. No, baby girl, because the government are giving you a loan, you have to pay your rent.
Wages,
right? So you have to pay your rent out of that. You also have to clothe, feed a child. Okay, so this none of this is covered by these. You have to clothe, feed your child, feed yourself. Okay, there's travel. Yeah, you've got to pay for travel, transport. So by the time you break down this money that you've got, if you don't take the time, because you get it like quarterly as well, isn't it? You get it like, how often does
every
it come?
term. So you would get it, your first payment will come September, then the next one won't come until January, then April, and then that's it.
So if you get a loan in January and you decide that you're just gonna be living the vida loca, you and your child will be sleeping at the bus stop. That's my strongest advice. Budget your money. Pay the things that are necessities first. So pay your rent, pay your council tax, buy your food, okay, for the house, yeah? And then any other money you have, you know, put some away for savings. Get a savings account. Oh my God, the biggest tip I could give to this is what I didn't do, and I wish I did it from the start. You are getting free money from the government. Save some of the money. Save, don't have to spend it, especially if you live at home. Bruv, I would if I got £4,000, I'd save 3 and live off £1,000. I haven't got no rent to pay. Save it. If you do that over 3 years, when you leave uni, you have a house deposit.
This is what I'm saying.
You have a whole house deposit. I only really started doing this towards like my last year, like actually saving some of the money that I had. And I could do that because then, you know, I was working more, I was getting more money. So I was like, you know what, actually, I can save this. My biggest tip is to save some. It's free money. Save some of it.
Save it. And you're exempt from council tax as well.
Oh yeah, you are exempt from council tax.
So make sure you get that exemption form from your uni, so you can bring it into the housing, whatever, and then you're exempt. Yeah, budget your money. Budget, please. Save your money. And also the third thing is see what you're entitled to. As I said, there's loads of grants and loans, not just for people with children. There's like other things, you know, you might have learning disability support. You might have mental illness grant support. You might have just, you know, hardship. There's grants for hardship if you ever do like just run out of your money and you are actually like starving out here. Like you can go and apply for a hardship grant, and these grants you don't have to pay back. So again, go to your student hub, your student support, and find out what there is that you are entitled to. Take it, it's free. But please, if you get that money, like Jeanette said, save. Because my saving was, I was getting married. Save. And that helped pay for my wedding. Save. I'm not gonna lie, like I only started saving in the last year, but like I saved like a good, I think maybe like 5 to 7 grand, and I just think like if I had done that for the whole 3 years, I would have been in a nice situation. Also, when you leave university, there's that gap where you might be looking for work and then you're not getting any money in, and so if you've saved money, you have that space to kind of like get on your feet and not be so frantic and not be worrying. So my biggest tip is financially save, budget, and see what support that is out there. See what money is free, baby. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Yeah, don't. Okay, so next we're going to move on to learning and support in terms of learning and mental health. So I realized when I started that, so as I said, I was going to look for what was free. Do you know what I mean? I was going to look for what support there was,
and there was loads of things that like were kind of offered to me. I know that I struggle in terms of exams, so my whole course is actually an assignment-based course, because I have like an anxiety in exams. Like I'll just look at the paper and the words will look Spanish. So I knew before that I couldn't like be doing anything that has too much tests and stuff like that. Based off of that, I think I was forwarded for like a dyslexia test, and basically I realized that I have elements of dyslexia, so I struggle in terms of like reading long information and like just comprehending it like at the end, like so there was lots of support in place for me. I also, because of my anxieties, received a lot of support in terms of like my movements around the university to university. I got a lot of support for that. And there was also like counselling services that were offered to us to speak, and people that can help you like sit down with your assignments and actually go through it with you and help you
so you get like a mentor,
just like mental support. So there is all of that out there also,
but you have to ask.
You have to ask. Didn't know about it. They're not gonna come, and when you get there, they will leave you. It's very university is very independent. It's not like school where you have someone holding your hand. No, they tell you what's gonna happen for the year, and you go and make it happen. So if you need support, you have to speak out. You have to go to your departments. You have to ask for help, and once you do that, you should have support. So,
and try and build a relationship with your course leader as well, because they're the ones that will have the information and be able to give you that support that you need.
It's just really important to look after your mental health while you're at university, because it's so stressful. Like, it really is. Like,
I'm so glad that we built a friendship, because there were times that we're both going
find somebody as well you can talk to about stuff, because literally, like, we used to, I think, like, doing the assignments, we used to be panicky, but when I look back at it now, like, it was funny. But like, having that person to share your stresses with, like, you have to talk to somebody about university, otherwise you'll literally blow and have panic attacks. So look after your well-being and your mental health while you're at university. And people that cannot help you or do not, because some people just don't understand university, especially if you've never done it. Like, people don't understand, I'm studying for an assignment, stop ringing my phone. Like, people don't understand, I have to be in the library, I have to read this book. People that are not doing what you're doing and don't have your focus won't get it. So people that are doing the same thing as you, I find that if you can find somebody that you can communicate with about, and we could share the same things, because we both have kids, we're both like mature students. Even when the teachers used to be talking to us like we was them little 21-year-olds in there, like we would be talking to each other about, like, who is she talking to? I'm older than the tutor, do you understand? So find something you can confide with, and it will help your mental health. What are some of the difficulties that you faced being a mature student, do you feel like, or just at university in general?
For me, it was being able to get my head around all this studying, all this paperwork, and because I hadn't been in any kind of education for so many years, I was like, okay, what I have all this work, how am I going to do this, and what am I going to do with it? And I feel that, like we were saying before, trying to have a good balance. I didn't have that good balance in the beginning. It was I was absolutely crap at it. I was like failing assignments, I had to retake assignments, and I haven't graduated yet. Jeanette, I would have graduated when Jeanette did.
We were supposed to graduate at the same time
together, but it didn't happen like that. And that is just due to having a balance and making that balance work. And it's only until maybe the ending, like my second year, that I was able to find that balance. And I mean, now I will graduate because I now understand the importance of having a balance. Plus, I was planning a wedding, and don't
get it twisted. Just because I graduated, don't get it twisted, because I almost didn't. Let's be very clear. I almost didn't graduate.
But you did.
I almost did not graduate. So let's not get it twisted. Like, sometimes you're not just gonna do the straight 3-year run straight through. Like, you're not just gonna bam out each year and then just think you're gonna. No, you might have to retake a whole year. You might have to go back 2 years. My difficulties were very similar to you, where my balance was all over. I was doing so much. So as I said, in my second year, I got a job again, and it was my dream job. So I had to stay doing it. but then I was in full-time university at the same time, and then I was a mum, and then there was these things I wanted to do outside. So life was just like this, firing at me. My difficulties were being organized in terms of my assignments. When I started uni, I was like, yep, I've got loads of friends that are at uni, and I know I'm going to be organized, I'm going to do stuff in advance. And so when everyone's rushing, I'm not going to be rushing. I was the last person. I was submitting at 00:58, right? So my thing is, the difficulties are going to be, as a mature student, balancing your everyday normal life with studying. And studying is so far away from, well, when was the last time you went to school as a mature student? Like, understanding that you have to discipline yourself to sit down in one space outside of your 9 to 5 and actually put in that independent work, that was difficult for me. And you know, just understanding and comprehending things. As I said, I was partially dyslexic. If I read too long, something that I'm not familiar with, it's not a book that I'm reading as a story. If this is something I have to comprehend and analyze and put onto paper, I'm going to be looking at a paper like this for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, reading the same page. So my thing was that, again, learning all of this stuff and then applying it, and in a timely manner. So this is why we say being organized is so important. Your mental health is so important, because when your life's going like that at you and you've got all these assignments to submit, it's easy for you to miss them. Our course leader was like, she's a lovely woman. I don't think she's a course leader anymore, but she was so direct and so frank. Basically, we would write out like a whole half essay and bring it to her to like have a look at, because the best advice I could do, even though I didn't quite do it myself because I was just like, I ain't got time for this. If you start your work early enough, take it to your tutor, because they can actually look at it and tell you what to change or what to make it better, and you're going to get a better grade because they're going to mark it. So if you do what they say beforehand, it's going to be better. But because I used to leave things to such the last minute, I would never go for like a pre-briefing with my tutor, because my course lead, because she was the type of woman that she would be no, she will scrub out. And if you do that a day before I'm supposed to submit, that means I have to start again. You're never going to get the work.
She was like a parent within the uni that will tell you something.
She'll tell you straight. She'll be like, what the fuck is this?
She'll give you that kick up the backside.
What the fuck?
And I think as mature students, as a student, even though we've got it together,
we're like,
oh, okay.
I spent 2 days on that paragraph.
Bitch, you know what I have to go through to do this.
Be organized, try to work in advance and get your work looked at. So basically, in my second year, I transferred to a TV journalism and film course. So that is what my degree is in. And that was because the journalism course by itself, baby girl, was too much writing. Like, it was too much writing, words and comprehension. And I'm a creative person and a practical person. So I went in and I did TV journalism and film. So that's my degree. I don't know if that was the right choice, because that side of the course, the TV and film course side of the course, they were not. Basically, it was split on it, so it was run by 2 different departments. The journalism side was amazing, and they treated me well, and they helped me graduate. But the other side, I wasn't really digging them. Ooh. But it was good that I had that relationship with our course lead, Victoria, because I was able to, when I was going through these troubles with that side of the department, or when I wanted to change, I could speak to her, I could get advice. And I think because I was transparent, that's the only reason why I maybe graduated, because they knew everything. I was going through every stage, and so they just tried to pick me up and support me and take me there. Even when my nan died just before my dissertation, I was like, no, this is it. That I'm gonna have to resit this year, because baby girl, I just can't. I was stressed, and they really pushed me to get to it. So there will be difficulties. Is the point. And if you get set back, don't let that stop you. Don't think, I'm going to give up, because so many people sign up to university and then just drop out because they think, like, what's the point?
Don't feel like if you've failed a year and that you have to retake it full time.
You're a failure. You're not.
Please ask for help. Because you're not a failure.
And there's a lot of people that have been in university for 10 whole years and still haven't graduated. But one day they will graduate.
So it's taken me 4 years. But don't feel because it's going to take you 4 years that you're a failure. And even now when I'm going back to uni, it may take me another 2 years just because of modules.
A graduation is a graduation. It doesn't matter how you not getting there in 3 years. Your lifestyle was set up different. Things was happening. You had to take that time out for your mental well-being. It doesn't mean that you're failed. When you walk across the stage next year, what difference does it make?
It doesn't make any difference. No one will know.
Don't compare yourself to anybody. It's not a competition. This is a personal journey for you. Okay. And finally, we're just going to talk about the benefits of university. I personally feel like I'm in a stronger position now with my degree in terms of applying for jobs, career status. Now, you do not have to have a degree. This was a personal choice that I made for me and for my son and for my family. I want my son to graduate. I wanted to inspire him. I wanted to have that document. So if it does come to a case where there's 2 applicants that apply for something and one doesn't have a degree, I have it. Maybe I will have the upper hand over that person. We could be just the same, but that person could have great experience. And you know, I have a degree and I have experience. Now I work in the industry that I want to be in, and I have a degree. I feel like I'm double armed. I also know that like I can go and work internationally places. Some places like America, to have a good job in my field, you have to have a degree. So I didn't want to limit myself. The benefits of having a degree is that, you know, you even when I look at my picture on the wall every day when I get out, I inspire myself. When I think, you know what, I don't want to do this today, or I can't, or I don't feel, I look at that picture, I know what I've been through for the 3 years, and I'm like, no, you actually can do that. This is nothing compared to that. So for me, it's more of a personal benefit in like how I feel, how I've inspired my son, how I've maybe inspired other people, even my friends. Do you know what I mean? Like even today when you said like you make me not want to give up, that's important. That's so important.
Inspiring. It's so inspiring to see somebody.
Don't gas me.
Gassing you, man.
Gas me.
But no, it's so inspiring because it makes me feel, you know, we started at the same place, and I feel like everything happens for a reason. I feel that you were meant to graduate before me now because we are in different situations, and it's making me like, do you know what, I want to do that. I want to do that because then years gone by, we're like, girl, we did this because we said from the beginning we're in this together, and we're gonna graduate together, and we may not graduate on the same day, but we will graduate together. And you know, and like Jeanette's saying, she's got her degree, but just know that you do not need a degree. I started working in a job that I've always wanted to, a company that I've always wanted to work for, and I've done that without a degree. So just know there's hope and you can do it.
We hope that like this video has helped somebody out there that's a mature student that feels like they're like too, that's another thing, like don't feel like you're too old for uni. Like you are not old. There are people at university that were older than us, visibly as well, girl. There's old people there. Like people go back to university at different ages, okay? Like, and just stay focused. It's a, as I said, it's a personal journey experience. You will find somebody in uni that you can connect with. Trust me, like, and you will meet people from all different walks of life, which is also amazing. And you don't know how them people can help you. There's communities within university, you know, there's sports teams, there's all that kind of stuff, and you can really like just expand your network, your friendships. It's an experience I'm glad I've had.
Most definitely.
And now that I've had it, I'm like, yeah, you know, as a life skill, and it has really like added something to my life. So yeah, I hope we've inspired somebody. I hope we've covered most things. If there's something that you still have a question about, comment below and we will try our best to answer you. If you enjoyed this video, again, as I said, please like the video and share it with somebody. And also good luck to everybody that is studying right now.
New starters.
Yep, everybody that's starting, like take this time out and, you know, use it. And make sure when you do go to university, you study something you have an interest in, because that's going to help you. I know this was quite a long video, but again, like it's to help. It's to help someone because I haven't seen a video like this on YouTube. So yeah, guys, make sure you subscribe, like, share, and I will see you in my next video. Peace.